are live, but there will be a delay. So I'm just going to check on Facebook to see if it's arrived yet on Facebook. Hello, lovely ladies. I don't know if you can see us. I'm just checking Facebook. It's looking good. Just do some tech things. Yep, I'm live now. Okay, so this is something really new, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time, but had felt a bit nervous about doing this. I don't know why. So what I've decided to do is every day this week at 4 p.m. is we're going to have story time. We're going to have Money Alchemy story time. And I thought it'd be really lovely and inspiring for all the women in the group here to hear Money Alchemy stories from people other than me, right? Because so far it's only been me and the posts that other people share. So it'd be really nice to get to know each other and find out about our own Money Alchemy journeys. So I am thrilled to announce that Lucienne is with us today. She's been in my group from the start and has been experiencing Money Alchemy for over a year now, haven't you, Lou?
I have indeed.
So tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and where you are in the world.
Okay, so I live in Essex, a place just outside Epping, Tawney in Essex, and you'll know better than anyone. My money play was just chaos. It was complete carnage. I was always in cycles. I'd get money, I'd lose money. I'd get money, I'd lose money, or I'd get money and think this is it. I'm definitely not spending it on anything frivolous, and something would come along and say that's all right. I'm going to have it off you anyway. So I was in an awful cycle with money, and I had quite a bad relationship with money. Lots of limiting beliefs around money, bad ones, and so. Your program was just like one of them moments. Couldn't have come at a better time, and it's still ongoing. It's just an absolute blessing to have it there to go to. But yeah, so your Money Alchemy was just amazing when it came along, because it literally felt like it had been designed, gift wrapped, and my name stamped on it. It is amazing.
I love that. And I love that, you recognize these patterns that you've had around money and how it has actually shown up for you. You mentioned that you've had money and then it's disappeared. And you have a real love of a few things, don't you? Crystals, books, and horses. How many horses have you got, Lou?
I've got 10.
10 horses, everyone. And they take some looking after, don't they?
And a bit like anything that I love in my life, can you have too many? My answer is always no, but I haven't got enough money often. This is why you're so important to me.
And we have this conversation about books and crystals as well as horses and dogs, actually, don't we?
Maybe. I might be a woman of pets.
So tell us more about what you're doing, what you do in your business.
Okay, so I'm just starting out, literally just starting out. So I'm a relationship self-love coach, and my business is going to be about helping women finally and truly fall in love with themselves, so that they attract great relationships, whether they be friendships, relationship with themselves, which is like the biggest one that I always will be dealing with first, because then you'll be able to attract great friendships, great relationships, and ultimately like intimate relationships, your soulmate. So that's where I'm starting out with, and that's what I'll be doing.
And I love how aligned our two businesses are, because I always say money, your relationship with money is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. And in fact, the work that we do in Money Alchemy is actually more about your relationship with yourself and how that actually attracts not only money, but it attracts a partner if that's what you want. It attracts different friends, doesn't it? And I know since I've been doing Money Alchemy, my relationships, all sorts of relationships, have improved, but my relationship with myself has improved as well. I've got really strong boundaries. So I love that alignment. That's really cool. Thank you.
I mean, that sentence, how that you said about money and yourself, that was such a powerful thing for me. Like that was one of my many aha moments when I really looked. Because now it's one of them sentences you think, no, it's not, and you go, oh, and you think, and you're like, oh, and it suddenly it all starts to unravel and become clear, and you start making links. Yeah. That was a powerful sentence for me, a powerful thing to hear.
And a lot of my Academy and Circle members often say that they get to a point where they go, I never got what you meant by that. your relationship with money is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. And now I get it. I totally get it. Because once you've done the work and you've stripped away a lot of the junk, you realize it's all about how you are with yourself. If you don't trust yourself or you don't believe in yourself, then that shows up in so many places, including money. That's just the thing that I tend to focus on, is that, you know, when we don't love ourselves. And when I met you a few years ago, loving myself was not something I thought I'd ever hear come out of my mouth. I knew I could like myself, but I wasn't sure that I could love myself. And I honestly think that my journey, my relationship with you has helped me to love myself a lot more, and that brought that money and the money alchemy in. So it's all kind of joined up, isn't it? I love it. Love it.
I was so dismissive of money and so
Yeah.
disrespectful of money, and that's what
Right.
I think, you know, like it came in and there was an expectation it should just come and do me, it should be, and yet I never gave it any value, any respect, any attention. My bank account, oh my gosh, I was almost allergic to looking. I'd be just a moment just to kind of go on the online and go, oh geez, you know, like it was just awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. And that's when I realized that my relationship with myself was awful. I think we can put veneers on ourselves and kid ourselves that, you know, we're fine, we've got this. And actually, like you say, when you strip it back and you really look, that's why when you said about the relationship with money, same as yourself, and I honestly thought, it's not. I've got this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I haven't. My life was a symptom of I didn't have this. You know, I didn't get it. I wasn't on it.
Yeah, and it's something, I don't know if you actually, I know that you do find this, that we end up taking ourselves for granted. We end up taking money for granted, and what that can result in is we do money alchemy, and then we take it for granted, and then this happens to money and our own relationship. Have you tell us about, you know, is that something that resonates with you? I know you've seen it, but what happens when you get to that point? What do you need to do?
Still happens, which is great.
You know, it happened for me as well.
Oh, I just, again, like I make, I do the work. You know, I think, oh, you know, my money life's a mess. So I go in, I do the work, and then you'll get a thought, oh, cool. Oh my God, this has happened. Oh my God, this has happened. Then I think, I've got this stuff. Life cruises. Then I'm like, oh, I've got no money. I've got no money. And it's about having the belief. Doing the work has been really important. Truly doing the work. So initially, I just tried to skim it as I do everything, just really ticking off the boxes. But one of the exercises I think I first did was go and find money. And, I just found hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And,
it was just lying around in your house, wasn't it? You were like, I haven't got any money.
I haven't really got anything. I've got a little bit of this, that, the other. I haven't really got anything. And I had like hundreds of pounds. The money checks, they are so incredibly powerful. But again, if I just take them for granted and don't buy into them, they don't work. When I do, I think I had one for a huge amount of money. I mean, you know me. I know you've said to me, don't go to the lottery, but I always do have my lottery check there because I have faith and belief. But I also have a big check as well as a regular check. And the check was for £35,000. I needed it for X, Y, Z. I wrote it. And it took a while of believing in it. And I kept looking at it. I think I had it on one of my many crystals. And I kept looking at it. And then boom, I was given £50,000, and it just blew me away. I don't know about you and Tina, but sometimes when it comes rushing and I'm that good at it, you know, I do the work and it comes in, I then freak myself out. My logical person goes, what's the matter with you? Like, it's money. But the inner me goes, wow. And I've manifested other things before. But I think I said to you at the very beginning of my journey, I've manifested horses and dogs and all sorts of cars, all sorts of things, and stuff for other people. But I couldn't manifest money for myself. So when I did like that, I was very excited, but then I stopped doing the work. You know, I take it for granted, and then it all went out and stuff happened. Vet bills came in, and everything started eating into it, and then it was gone. And although saying that, at that point, I'd done enough work to know to start putting some safeguards in. So credit cards were all paid off.
Yes.
My overdraft was paid off, and they were cleared and shut down. It's because I knew I hadn't yet gone along the process enough that I would have the willpower to still not touch them if they were available to me. Well, to like, that's not true. I have one credit card left untouched, but also there is resistance there. I don't know the PIN number. I would have to contact them. So, and I won't just, because I also know myself, if I put something on it, I will fill it up. Maybe not so much now, but definitely at the time. So I'm always richer than I ever was now because my new thing is zero.
Yeah, it's actually zero, isn't it? I'd completely forgotten about that. We get, again, like, I take it for granted as well. I'm like, I know where you are, like, and there's lots of lovelies in the circle and the academy who very like you. They started with a zero of minus thousands, and sometimes it can feel like you're not making any headway, can't it? But when you realize that you've gone from minus thousands to zero and above in, like, well, it happened so fast, didn't it?
It was within the year.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't imagine. In fact, really think about it, I think it was within about 6 months.
Yeah.
I literally had it all done. The hundreds I found within a couple of weeks, a week, whatever. The thousands came within in fact, no, I think it's about 3-4 months, because it was just before Christmas, and I was just like, it was a good Christmas.
And you also mentioned something really interesting there. Now, I don't believe that we can manifest for other people deliberately, but I remember you going through a phase of accidentally manifesting for other people, didn't you? And what was happening was money was trying to get to you, but it was going to your brother, your mother, your father. It was going it was like stopping before it got to you, wasn't it? And we did some work on, like, clearing that, and then the checks started coming through, didn't they? And you are a romantic from memory, so you love money, and I think that's why you might have thought, I don't get what she means. I love money, so I love myself, and I love myself, so I love money. But what we realize is, actually, if you can just do the work, you get the money. You're a fast manifester, not like me. I'm a plod along manifester, but absolutely consistent. Like, I can manifest the same amount of money over and over, but you do what I call chunky manifestations,
like a
don't
roller
you?
coaster.
Yeah. And so what's been your biggest insight, do you think, into that pattern?
Knowing it and being aware of it has been what's most powerful, because that's made me able to, I wouldn't say I've mastered it yet, because sometimes life does curveballs and you fall off it. But where I'm aware, I know that I'm much more in control life than I ever thought. I used to just give over to everything, that life was happening to me. This would always happen. This was happening. A bit, you'd get a bit of victim mentality when everything was coming along, taking all my money. I don't know, I'm not going to be very eloquent about it.
That's
It was
okay.
quite huge. It was really huge, because I can, to realise I had the power to manifest, to realise I could have it so quickly. Consistency is my absolute next goal. But I felt so empowered, because before I was just I felt a victim of circumstance, and I was my mindset. I felt like a victim, and then I was. But now I'm far more empowered to take control of my money. And actually, it's like you said in the big ball, it's been of my life. So there's been so many takeaways. It's one of them questions where you go, where do I start? But so many.
And money is a pretty scary thing to work with, isn't it? Because there's so much yuck around money. Even just talking about money can feel quite yucky for some people, can't it? And I don't know about you, but I find that this Facebook group just really nice. Even if people aren't commenting, I know they're here, and they're talking about money, and they're trying and doing all the things that are completely opposite to what we're taught to do. At the moment, there's a lot of, oh, there's going to be a recession and all this type of thing, but actually keeping our eyes on the prize, that was something you used to say to me, keeping our eyes on the prize, keeping our eyes on money and our relationship with money really helps us to block out the noise and only filter in the amazing stuff, doesn't it?
And that's what I've been working on, because especially, like you say, at the minute it's been all too easy to let the doom and gloom in, and I feel like if my vibration goes low, I take my manifesting with it. So I've been totally working. And also in history, like if you look at history, there's been some devastating financial times, and yet some people have absolutely flourished and just boomed in it. So I decided, I made the decision that was going to be me. If it can be them, it can be me, it can be anybody. It's like I say, it's way too easy to let in the negative. I mean, everyone's on a ban from talking to me about any kind of news. No, I
Yes.
don't want to hear it. And I literally shut them down, almost to the point of bluntness. And it's not to be rude. It's because I think when that's in, it festers, it starts to grow. And so there's no headspace for that stuff. I can't control it, but I can control my mood. I can control my perspective on stuff and what I'm doing in my own bubble. And it's not that I don't care, but I literally can't do anything about that, the news or anything that's going in it. And it really, again, helps my manifestation and my perspective about money and what I'm bringing into my life.
Yeah, I mean that's such a good point as well. Like it's the number one thing in manifesting money is raising your vibration and keeping it as high as you can for as long as you can. Otherwise, like money operates up here, so it's looking for you up here. Social media, the news, all the doom and gloom drops us out of that. It puts us into that fear. We start panicking. I mean, at the weekend, I was like going through the bills thinking, how are we going to afford it? I mean, what? That's my ruler at play.
Money
That
bags?
is like, no, right? I know. And I'm like, oh no, I won't be able to save as much. I mean, that's something I never thought I never thought saving was something that was going to happen for me. So
That's the line that I'm aiming for. To go,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
no, Lou, I can't save as
yeah.
much.
That'll be your new zero, won't it, when you
Yeah.
save? But yeah, like what we need to really work on, and it's really hard, is raising our vibration. And some people came round, some family members came round at the weekend, and they talked about their holiday. And honestly, you would think that they had the worst holiday of their lives. They were gone for 12 days, and like they only had one good thing to say about one day, and the rest of it was all doom and gloom. And I was like, oh my God, I could feel myself dropping out of that high vibration where money can see us and come towards us. So I got the sage out and I was opening the windows. I was ringing my witches' bells. They must have thought I was batshit crazy. But I was like, there is no way that these people are going to let me drop out of this vibration. And it is really hard, isn't it? It's really hard, especially when money is actually tight and prices are going up. It's really hard to stay high vibration. And that's why I always say, are you doing your money magic foundations? I literally bang that in, because all of those, like looking for money, that's the first one, isn't it? Looking for money. When you go and look for money, even when you do it a couple of months after you've already done it, you always find hundreds of pounds, don't you?
I did it again the other day. I found a little secret stash in one of my bags. I'm like, how have I got the money to put these stashes away? I feel like I've never got it. And I keep getting these stashes, or I'll get an unexpected client pop up.
Yeah.
And there's some, sorry, I've just got an eyelash in my eye, but and
Sorry.
it'll just pop up. So yeah, the money works. It
Yeah.
really, really does. And it is so important. If I'm thinking about people coming around, because there are always those like little energy vampires, I
Yeah.
mentally zip myself up. I give myself a nice
Yeah.
bath, zip myself up. For the real stinkers, I actually zip up about 3-4 times, because if not, they get in and they just leave you with a nasty old residue that you're stuck with and you have to go cleanse off.
Yeah, yeah, and then you've got to work to get your vibration up to that level again, to hit that money radar, because money literally flows to us, doesn't it, when we're on that vibration. I've seen it myself. It literally started raining money. That's what it felt like at one point in my life, because I was so in tune with money that it kept coming. So like raising our vibration, I know it's really hard not to worry about money, but I always say, like, it's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it gets you literally nowhere. You're still in that same spot. So you're best off getting out there and looking for money and paying attention and making space as though she's on her way and all that type of thing. I love it. I love it.
I found a big help was to stop thinking, where's it going to come from, the how.
Oh yeah.
That was a massive thing, because I used to get so caught up, and it's so easy to say. So you're depressed about money's tight, bills are bigger than what you've got in, and you're thinking, well, how? And there's nothing on the horizon. You think, well, it's all very well, Lou, but here I am in this mess. And you used to go, stop thinking of the how. And I was like, oh, but how can you not? And when I did, oh my gosh, the universe doesn't, it's got its own plans. It's the universe, for crying out loud, when money comes in, when you give up the how, it's just like it goes, I told you. And you're like, oh, you did. And it gives, and it's hard faith, isn't it? I do get it when it's dark. it is easy. And sometimes if I get really dark, I'll just chunk it right down. And I know it's a cliche, but I'm unlucky. I live on a farm. So I go and walk out on the grass. I go and sit in a bit of grass with a big coat on if it's miserable and raining, or I spend some time with my dogs, and I literally forget everything else I'm doing for that one moment in time to raise my vibration, because then I know I'm back towards getting where I really need to be to start bringing the money in. Because I know I'm not going to do it from down up low.
Yeah, exactly. And dragging ourselves out of that down low is so important. And I know when you and I talk, we both do something similar. We allow ourselves pity parties for when we can't kickstart our energy, don't we? That vibration where we say, right, at this time on this day, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to stop feeling sorry for myself and I'm going to work on it, because it is important to feel your feelings as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not about constantly thinking positive and constantly being high vibration. That's just unachievable. But what we've got to do is stop ourselves being constantly down and miserable and in low vibration, for sure. Like, it makes a massive difference, doesn't it? But we
Yeah.
do have to feel those feelings. We shouldn't ignore those, because that just, well, it sends
Oh,
me over the
pity
edge.
party is great, isn't it? It's great to go to a pity party, just don't stay too long.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
like,
having a good cry actually is
oh,
amazingly therapeutic, and only if it gets snotty. I'm sorry, unless the snot flows, you're not letting everything really out. Because you know what? And obviously, I don't mean you've got to have a massive cry all the time, but when times are really tough, only when I've really, really cried and acknowledged how low I'm feeling, it's okay, and had a really good cry. And afterwards, it's just like having a wash, you just feel
yeah.
refreshed, and you can feel yourself starting to rise again from where you were.
Yeah, and yet many of us, me included, I find it really hard to cry. Um, it creates knots in my throat,
Wow.
and it creates a headache. It actually creates physical pain for me. But actually, if I just let it go, I'd be over it so much
Oh,
quicker.
no, you're speaking to a leaky bucket.
I know, I
Honestly.
know. I know, I admire that. I do admire that, because I really struggle. I feel like I'm like stoic, and it's not good for me. I know I
Oh.
can feel it's not good for me, and what I need to do is just let it go.
Mm.
So so it is about being high vibration, but sometimes we've got to really clear out the junk to get back up there,
Yeah,
haven't we?
acknowledge it so you're clearing it out. You know what you're getting rid of.
Yeah.
And visualizing is another massive help for me.
Oh, you introduced me to this. I remember when I met you, you told me that you had daydreaming breaks, and you would literally just go and dream your life, your future life into being. And I didn't know at the time how important that was, because sometimes manifestation work, any type of law of attraction work, can feel very hard and actually bring our vibration down when we're constantly repeating it. But imagination is just a playground, isn't it?
Mm.
It's really high vibration. And tell us what you do.
Oh, so I think I actually said, Lou, my life is one big daydream. I think I was having a struggle to come down. And I think thinking of law of attraction, something I learned that put into words what I didn't do. When you come from a place of lack and you try and demand the visions, it just doesn't work. In fairness, you often get delivered more of what you're trying to get away from. But I literally, when I visualize, I literally just imagine my life as amazing. And I don't just go, oh, there I am in my lovely house that I'll be looking forward to. I literally feel it. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited with my horses. I'm oh, hope there's nothing wrong with my horse. If that calls again, I might have to answer it. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, and I literally feel it. I literally experience it, because I know other people probably know already, but literally the brain doesn't know the difference. And that kind of that kind of vibration draws it in. It's not from a place of want. It's not you're trying to demand it comes into your life. You're literally just you're loving your life, but just through your imagination. I had it once. I had a mentor, and I always wanted to speak on stage, and I just envisioned walking down this the runway and speaking, and I had one of my little power naps. And I was like, oh, and I literally visualized what I was going to say, how I was going to say it. And I was, oh, this is amazing. Anyway, then I woke up and my phone went beep, beep. And I looked and it was my mentor saying, oh, could you speak for us, please, at our big event? And I was,
I remember.
it blew me. I think I messaged you. Holy
Yeah.
I just literally couldn't believe it. I manifested that. I manifested a horse and something else, all within the same thing. And I think that's when I, because I do theta healing, I also went to my theta healing mentor, and I was like, oh my god, I scared the crap out of myself, and now it's stopped. You know, it was unbelievable.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
And you made an amazing point there, like, again, being in need and want.
Mm.
The law of abundance, the law of attraction is about focusing on what you want.
Mhm.
So if you're focusing on need and worry, you get more need and worry, don't you? Do you need to go?
No, I just the
Oh,
message,
okay,
they're all good. Sorry, I was
that's
just
cool.
checking.
Cool. No, that's cool.
A tip
Um,
that we can cry over.
so when we try and manifest because we need something or even want something, because often a want is actually a don't want, so it's quite negative. Like, we have to manifest from desire, from joy, from love, so that we get our desire, our joy, our love back. If we manifest because we need something, what we get is more needing something.
Mm.
And that's really hard to get your head around, isn't it? Because on the surface, it seems like I've just got to think and say that I want this, but the fear has to be gone from your body. You have to feel it, don't you? Feel it in your heart, in your head, in your body. And that daydreaming thing it's gold. It's absolute
It
gold,
is
isn't it?
magical. And
Yeah.
what you just said there, I'm going to do it because I know I always lose my point things, but that's why the work and what's available in the academy is, oh, I knew I'd lose my thread, but it's so important. Because if you just go, oh, well, I've tried it, I thought I don't want it and I don't, it just doesn't, it has to happen at a much deeper level, because it's what I do with my ladies. Because it's the same thing with relationships. They're like, oh, I don't need a man, I just want one. And I'm like, no, you don't, because the universe is showing me that actually you're desperately wanting a guy.
Yeah.
And the more you come from a place of need and desperation, and I also think it's like I always think of it as like a big bubble of energy as well. You know, that you chase this stuff, whether it be money or love or whatever, you chase it. And I know we all think we're being really clever with our little, like, oh no, I didn't mean to, I'm being really clever. You're not, you're still chasing. And when you chase, you push what you desire most further away. You know,
Yes.
if you just kind of sit back and relax, I promise it comes to you. It's the very same chat I have with myself. To just relax and let it come back to me, and dream big.
Trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely trust. And whenever I'm fearful, my goals get smaller. So, like, as in my money things get smaller, and then I'm like, what's the matter with you? You want to be multimillionaire, stinking rich? You want to rake the house down? And I know some people that's like obscene and offensive, but for me, money is just the most amazing, magical thing. And to have millions and millions in my when I do the lottery, people go, oh, a million will do me. Absolutely no way. I need way, way more millions than that. I can't do, well, I could do, that's not true. I could do, but it will take me way longer. If I can win multi-millions, the good I can do with that money. And I'm now, I'm bang up selfish. I'll definitely have my own little spending spree when it first comes in. But the help and stuff I could spread with that money, the good I could do with it would be phenomenal, you know, but I can't do it until I attract it.
Absolutely. And whilst you're busy attracting that, don't just focus on the lottery, focus on the other ways that these millions can come to you. Because, you know, I always say that, don't I? We don't want all of our eggs in one basket. Plus, like with the lottery, there's a lot of moving parts for the universe to juggle around. And I did a video on TikTok that's got like 43,000 views on it. And people are like, well, why can't I manifest a lottery win? I'm like, well, it's because everyone wants to manifest a lottery win. So it's, you know, there's only one lottery. Well, there's quite a few, but you know what I mean? Whereas you can be cooking that away in the background. Absolutely. I'm not saying don't do it. But what about all the other, like you said, money comes, once you let go of the how, it comes in all sorts of forms, doesn't it? It comes in all directions. When you can just allow money to come, there's a good chance that money could come through your business, through, you know, anything really. Someone might just think you're absolutely amazing and write you a check, right?
They do.
Oh, well, that's exactly what's happened with you a few times, hasn't it? Someone's just sent you a check because they adore you. I wish someone would send me a check like that.
I won't lie, it's it never gets it always stays cool.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. It's a fascinating field to do the work in, isn't it?
It
So
really is.
what do you think was really holding you back when you first discovered money alchemy?
my beliefs
Mm.
that just, there was tons of them. I remember one particular phone call with you, whenever my resistance would come up strong. I know you've seen her. She's a she's a brat. She won't let anything in. She won't listen. And I go red. And I know you can see it. And I've lost
It's
my
it's your inner child, isn't it, that
inner
comes
child
out.
kicks off strong.
Mm.
And it's because my beliefs were so, oh God, they were just like concrete. They were totally
Mm.
immovable. And my inner child couldn't see past them, and she knew they were right. And the alchemy just allowed her to, if she could just give it a minute
Mm.
and show you this is what it did, and then this is how it works. That was massive for me, because
Yeah.
literally your beliefs are so, they are just beliefs. They're not factual, they're not real, but for you, they are what you built your life around, what you
Yeah.
built your life on. So I'd built, my whole, and I'd had all sorts of influences of money. Like my dad, the influences, which is where I think I get my roller coaster from. He's done the same. He'd get loads of money in, and then it would go flat. Loads of money in. He also loves. So I think I'm Celebrity is my other one.
Yeah.
Our polar opposites. And he also loves to help and loves to give out stuff too. But his was to the detriment, and the alchemy made me realize that, I need to cover all my bases. And
Mm.
I wanted to embrace your alchemy, but I need to start doing that if I'm going to be able to do what I love to do the most. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't. Money alchemy is just such an all-inclusive thing. To pinpoint it on one just isn't possible, because the reason the magic works is because of all of it. I
All
don't
of the things.
say,
Yeah.
do this, your life will change, but each bit makes it, contributes towards the magic in its own right. But when you do the process as a whole, is when the magic really, really works. And
Yeah.
keep doing it. I won't lie, that's where my thing is my consistency.
And it happens with me as well. Like, it's no secret, I share in the group, I fall off the money wagon. Like, part of the reason that this group is so amazing is it keeps me on the wagon when it comes to money as well, because I'm like, yeah, I'm the money alchemist, I can do this. And then I take it for granted. Bang. The thing about magic, any type of magic, especially this type of like earthy alchemy, is the ego has to go. We're never good at it, we're just practicing it, right? We're just practicing over and over and over, and we end up mastering it through practice. But even the masters have to practice the basics, right?
It's,
So
it's the basics it's all built on, doesn't it? And I
yeah.
think that, so it's one of the things I could say that is that the alchemy has totally shrunk my ego down, which, as you know, is no mean feat. I think
Mine too, mine
every
too.
aspect of my life, and they're all
Yeah.
vast. But
Yeah, so that's a really good point, because I remember, and you mentioned this earlier, like when we first started working on this together, like you were like, I'm fine, I love money, like I'm totally due it. And that was your ego mind, your conscious mind. But there was a real disconnect between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and your soul imprinting, which it was, although you consciously believed it and your ego was telling you believed it, your inner being was like, yeah,
it
no.
didn't trust it. It actually
Yeah.
caused me more pain than pleasure, because
Mm.
so a little bit of my backstory. So my mum and dad were quite well off, so I never really had to want for things. We had a couple of tough times early doors, but I always had beautiful holidays. I didn't really want for anything. But every so often, and this is where I think my massive distrust would come from, my dad would have a bad thing, and that was it. Our whole lifestyle was under threat, and everything was
Mm.
under threat. So a massive level of distrust was on money. I couldn't trust money. Money couldn't be trusted. It wasn't going to stick around. Easy come, easy go. Just because you've got lots of money doesn't mean you can't lose. And for ages, even lottery money, I remember saying to you, I don't even know if I'm not attracting it right now, because I don't trust that. I mean, my spending habits are quite legendary, so I couldn't cruise through it in a bad way. So there was a huge distrust of money that I had no idea really was there until I started doing the work and peeling it back. I probably gave it like a fleeting thought, but like you said, I was dominantly, I love money. I love what it can bring. Was my,
Mm.
and I couldn't move forward if I wouldn't acknowledge what was holding me back.
No, no. And sometimes that acknowledgement can feel, well, it's like any healing work, isn't it? It's not, we don't just wave a magic wand and it feels perfect. Like, there's some undoing to be done, and then rebuilding, and it can be emotional quite uncomfortable, can't it? And I think what I love about Money Alchemy, both the circle and the academy, is that it's like a toolkit of things you can do to help
Absolutely.
soothe yourself through that transition, through that transformation, which is of course what alchemy is about. It's like breaking down and then reforming into something even more magnificent. And yeah, I've loved what I love. It's not that I've loved it, I still love it. I still love watching the process, not of you breaking down, I don't like that, but of you coming back together, and every time you step forward. And I just, again, feel called to mention that you had big credit card debt, you had overdrafts. That was your zero, was minus thousands.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
And now zero is your zero, and that is huge. And very soon zero won't be your zero, it will be plus money. And that's totally down to you doing the work in Money Alchemy, for sure. Like, because if you don't do the work, you don't get the results. But
you really don't. And something else, oh god, I wish it wouldn't flit out my head the second I go to bring it up. No, sorry, talk again, it's just gone out my head.
That's okay. So what do you think if someone was sitting on the fence, they've been in the group for a while perhaps, and they're thinking, I don't know whether Money Alchemy is for me, what would you say to someone who was thinking that?
Everyone and anyone, because the tools work. The law of attraction, I remember reading this once, and I know it's not totally based on that, but it is in the fact that it works for everyone, whether you believe in it or not. The way that electricity is, gravity is, doesn't matter if you believe in gravity, it still works. The law of attraction still works. This Money Alchemy stuff works. Whether you believe in it or not, and I prove it regularly by I pick it up, I get a load of money, and then I drop it. And also, I think that's what I was going to say, is that sometimes you have to also allow for the patience when you're saying about healing. You need things to, I've spent my whole life being a romantic celebrity all up in us, and I can't expect, and you know how impatient I am, so this is why I had really trouble. But you can't expect to live your life as mine over 40 years one way and then go, oh, poof, there it is. It was magical and very fast magical often, like with the big checks and everything else. But the real work that's going to make the biggest difference is letting it really become my new normal, my new way of thinking, my beliefs. I really have been had over time with your help and the academy, and also, like you said, the people in the groups help, sort of ripping out those old beliefs. And then, you know what a weed's like, there was a fucking root in there that suddenly grows, so re-ripping them out. And being aware that those weeds will always grow, especially if you're going through a little bit of a tough time. We all do it. It's okay when we're on a roll and we're fine and we're firing all cylinders, but life gives us curveballs. And so it's just, don't beat yourselves up about it and have to be on the ball all the time, but just be aware that them weeds will be growing and they will need ripping out again. Don't think you've dealt with them and that's the work done. Those lifers come back.
They do, but they're easier to see, aren't they? They get easier and easier.
They're weak to walk out. You're aware of them, and that's gradually moving on. That's where I feel my consistency is going to come from, because my zero has really been zero for long enough now. I think I need to start with a higher zero.
Yeah. Well, we can work on that. Well, thank you so much, Lou. If anyone wants to find you, where's the best place for them to come and find you?
Oh, probably on Facebook. If you message me on Facebook, Lucienne Mahoney. I've got some pages set up, but I need to. I think I'll tell you, I'm on Instagram, the Love Life Coach or the Love Life Coaching, and I'm on TikTok. But I haven't got a lot there. But that's where you can find me if you want to come find me, because there will be lots of stuff coming out soon.
Cool. Thank you so much, lovely, for sharing. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about your money journey with Money Alchemy?
No, just that I'm so very grateful. I'm so very grateful that it came into your life to bring it into mine, because it literally has made the most phenomenal difference, and it continues to make the most phenomenal difference. It really, really does. And going forward, I feel safe in the knowledge that I have that to fall back on and take me forward. Before I was free falling, and now I'm not. I'm progressively moving forward. My only way is up. Even if I have little wobbles, I still am moving forward. So no, just thank you very much.
Oh, bless you. No, it's a joy.
Woo-woo when I first met you.
I know, I remember, it's really interesting. Oh, you're very welcome, lovely. I remember when I first met Lou, I was so repressed with my spiritual side, wasn't I? And you started talking about sodalite, and I was like, what's that? And I remember that was the first crystal. I mean, I did have a bit of amethyst, but it completely discharged. That triggered something in me, getting the sodalite, and I've ever since I've been attracting different people, different practices, and it was literally like you lifted the roof on my head and all of my stuff came back to me. I
Mm.
mean, I knew I had it, but I'd hidden it because I thought the world thought I was mad. Actually, I think I was madder before I opened up my head.
Well, I saw what you were saying the other day, and it's like I'm always crazy. Just sometimes I pretend to be normal.
Yes, yeah,
And
right. Yeah,
that's far
yeah,
more me. I am always crazy, but just
yeah,
sometimes I'm a little conformed because, but it's not
yeah.
often.
And what I'm loving is the confidence that I know I have now. Like Mark really isn't a believer in the spirituality, but he can't deny
Mm.
that it all works. Like all of this magic stuff is a thing. He can't deny it. Like it's a
Right.
thing. I prove it every single minute of every single day for him.
Mhm.
He will come round. He will convert to money
He's
alchemy.
coming slowly.
No, but I did actually. It's interesting. I did say to him, if you treat the car like it's a piece of crap,
Mm.
that's all you're ever going to manifest. And the other day he was out there washing the car, so I was like, oh, why are you doing that? And he said, well, I won't manifest my dream car if I don't look after this one. I was like,
See, you've
yeah.
turned him.
Right, my lovely, you stay on the line. I'm just going to let the group know what's happening. We are finished. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoyed that. And there's going to be money alchemy stories hopefully every day this week. I've got people scheduled in, but sometimes things happen. To really, really showcase different people and different experiences and how money alchemy is making a difference. It's a gift. It's my gift. I feel like it's my gift to the world. Like I feel so lucky that it came through me of all people. Um, and as you know, I'm not perfect, so hearing everyone's stories really helps me as well. So have a wonderful afternoon and evening, ladies, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Lou. Thank you.